the sound effect for getting True Jedi in Lego Star Wars sound effect just played in my mind right there. Whenever I say True Jedi, I hear that sound effect. I spent years playing that game on the GameCube. So that small tangent. Lego games, fun and easy to play, fucking hard to complete.
I've never
fucking hard.
I've never completed a Star Wars Lego game.
It
ever.
is. I think I'll talk about Lego Star Wars in another episode, but just so we don't go off on a huge tangent.
Yeah.
But the Ahsoka is you're right. He does give not only his characters just the love that they deserve. He gives established characters the love they deserve.
And the respect.
That
is something that we did not get out of the sequel trilogy.
He turns two characters that got the short end of the stick.
Yes.
And gave them like 80% of their story.
Yes.
Darth Maul and Boba Fett. We're getting the Boba Fett series.
Yes.
We are going to get more Fett.
We're going to get more
We're
Fett.
going to see what Fett actually does other than
be a complete badass.
What?
Yeah.
Punk hitting and flying off into the Sarlacc pit.
Yes.
By the way, that jetpack has a metal patch over where he was hit.
Oh my God, I didn't catch that.
His jetpack has a patch on it over where Han Solo hit the jetpack.
And what's funny is in the first episode of season 2, when Cobb Vanth has it, he hits him in the exact same spot and he takes off. When he hands him Grogu and then hits that spot, he just takes off. It's like, oh my God, yes.
I remember that thing. It was so funny. And then they actually go like, oh, you thought Boba Fett was a funny character? No,
he's not.
He is a fucking badass. You get the hint that he's maybe a bit more moral,
right?
In Mandalorian season 2, and then he goes, "All right, hi Jabba's palace."
Yep.
Bye.
Exactly. And that's let's talk.
Bye, Bib Fortuna. Bye, Bib Fortuna.
Big fat Bib Fortuna. Exactly.
He's gone. I'm taking this throne. This is my place now.
Yes.
Get ready for. Oh, you thought Boba was slightly a good guy? No, he's still a bounty hunter.
He is still the most dangerous bounty
hunter in the galaxy.
Well, and let's talk a second about Fennec Shand.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that we don't know in the episode of Mando season 1 that she lives.
She lives.
You know, and when she pops up and she's like, it looks like you've seen a ghost. Now, I love that because they're able to read his body language despite not being able to see his face.
Yeah.
So good. She's like, you look like you've seen a ghost. And when it cuts to him, it looks like he's seen a ghost.
You can tell that his helmet is
like
slightly farther back, closer to his chest
and he's
than normal.
Yes, and he's just like...
And at the same time, the body posture of Mandalorian is still funny when he's in the troop outfit.
Yes.
And he is rigid in the seat, not moving.
Yes.
And he's in the world's, it is canonically accurate to say, the shittiest armor.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, go back, like, the respect paid.
The respect's paid.
Yeah. And that's why I think that, to kind of full circle on that question.
Yeah.
That's why I've had not a big problem with it.
Yeah.
Because they've done it so well. They took all of those things, all those little references, all of those fan service things, right? Like, to see Bo-Katan, to see Maul in Rebels and in Clone Wars, that's all fan service. And it's done in such a way, but then you give the story and you give the respect that the character is deserving of.
Exactly. He's fleshed out on these characters that have been dying to be fleshed out.
Right. And then to go Luke.
Yeah, to go Luke.
At the very end.
At the
very end, you have something to say.
Yes, I do.
Say it.
Real quick. The sniper lady.
Fennec Shand,
Yeah. we're getting Fennec Shand in
Bad Batch.
We're
Yes.
getting her story continue to be told. And
on the reverse end of it,
where she
or on the
barely
forward
shows
end of it.
she shows up in one episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She shows up in the last 3 episodes of Mandalorian season 2,
Yeah.
and now she shows up in
The Bad
Bad
Batch.
Batch. I almost call it Clone Wars because it looks so similar.
Clone Wars season 8.
Clone Wars season 8.
Yeah.
Just when you thought everything was done. What if we
Nope.
took the Jedis out of the picture and it was still a good show?
Yeah.
Like
So good.
This is like
Well,
following
and think
and
about
going,
and
look,
tangent. By the way, what are we going to see in Bad Batch?
that's dude.
Imagine the little references,
Yeah.
like the right after Order 6. We never got to see immediately after Order 66.
We never got to see the outcome of that.
Yeah, and so we get to see that. We probably get to see some of these Jedi that we didn't get to see killed,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but
Yeah, I mean, we could have more Jedi actually surviving, only
Absolutely.
to be. I mean, now it's not going to be the focus.
no, it's not.
It's not going to
It
be the
can't
focus.
It can't be.
But I mean, look, so much love has been given to characters who didn't get that initially,
Yes.
and one of these days, I would love for Filoni to get his hands on Phasma.
Filoni needs to get his hands on Phasma.
Because now we can't refer to characters who got the short end of the stick as being mauled,
right,
being fet,
right,
being
you've
feted.
Been, you've been being
You've
feted.
been
phasmas.
phasma'd.
Yeah, and that's
Phasma is the only character in the
That's
main
left.
that's left in the main movies. That I mean, unless you really, really care about Jar Jar Binks.
I do not. Aftermath
Yeah.
handled that just
Aftermath
fine for me.
handled that just fine. I am satisfied with
which
that
is
ending.
which is an interlude which was lasted 3 pages in an entire trilogy
Yes.
of books.
It's
fine. Yeah.
I would love that. That's the only character where I'm like, okay, yeah. Let's briefly go back into the sequel trilogies.
Yeah.
And let's. I mean, we had the comic, we had the book,
Yeah.
but the book majorly. Majorly.
Majorly. There you
Yes.
go.
The book majorly centered on Phasma as a child.
Correct. And kind of
And
what led her to be where she is at.
You get little brief snippets of like, okay, the story is almost being told in flashback form.
Right.
And so we don't really see Phasma being Phasma. We see what led to Phasma being Phasma. But we
Right.
don't see any as much as you can see audiobooks.
Right.
And so with the fake out of her death in
Ugh.
and
yeah.
then her
Ugh.
just poor treatment. She's the last character in the movie series that really deserves to be
Filoni'd.
Yeah.
I agree. And and maybe we might get that.
I hope we
so.
do. I will gladly jump back into the sequel trilogy
yeah.
universe
For
Phasma.
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 Yeah, I mean, I just watched Game of Thrones recently, and I can't think of her name, the lady who portrayed Phasma.
It's on top of my tongue as well.
Yeah, I can't think of the top, but her character,
Lady
Brianna of Tarth.
Brianna of Tarth.
There you go.
There we go. No one calls her Lady Tarth.
No
That's
one-
Lady
yeah.
Tano.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Maul.
That's Maul.
Come on.
Exactly. But her character in Game of Thrones was done so incredibly well, and I was so excited. Like, I'd never watched Game of Thrones up until just recently, but I knew of her. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that she was a big British actress,
Yeah.
and like literally a big
British
British actress. And I knew that was a really interesting, like, silver armor, really freaking cool.
Yeah.
The way she treats Finn, like, you just get this kind of badass vibe off of her, and then she was just absolutely shit on.
Yeah.
And
Trash compactor to then
Yeah.
just space trash.
yeah, I mean, like, literally
Yeah.
So,
we will do audio commentary of the movies.
oh yes, we can't wait.
And then as the credits roll, we will just
just lay in,
lay in on how
Yeah.
Phasma was so poorly treated.
It was awful. So I mean, in talking about Luke, I did mention, like we were talking about, could it be Cal? Could it be Ezra?
Right.
Could it be? What did I even throw out the idea of it being? Oh God, what's his name? Mace Windu. I think I threw that out.
I think you threw it out, but I rolled my eyes at that.
He rolled his eyes hella hard at that one.
Yeah, look again. We did get Windu for two and a half movies.
Basically 3 movies.
Basically 3 movies,
yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't primarily there in the first one.
No, but big part
in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So we get Windu.
Yeah.
And
you can't. Okay, and
Windu is so with. Again, on the tangents, we love and appreciate you guys who stick with us.
Yeah.
So the thing with Maul is he dies. If he's brought back, it doesn't really lessen the fact that he killed his Qui-Gon.
Correct.
In fact, it would only stir up more trouble if he survived. Boba Fett. I mean, look, I don't think Luke or Han Solo are gonna, their noble sacrifice of blindly stabbing Boba Fett in the back is going to lessen the story of Han Solo.
Yeah.
With Mace Windu, though, that is a choice of desperation and...
It is what led Anakin to the dark side.
Exactly. Like that is a pivotal moment. That is the pivotal moment where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yes.
If you bring him back, if you bring Mace Windu back, well, is that going to change Vader's desire to destroy all the Jedi? No. Is he going to try to convert Anakin back early? No. Especially not Windu.
Right.
Windu was the closest closest Jedi who touched the dark side.
Right.
In not exactly in not a Jedi way.
Yeah.
But used both aspects of the Force for the Jedi Order.
Right.
He's not going to be a person going, there's still good in you, Anakin. Never mind the fact that you cut my hands off and led me to being force zapped down the fucking one of the highest spires in all of Coruscant.
Right.
No thanks, Vader, if you're calling yourself that now.
Right.
Good luck. You're half machine. Guess what? I've got force powers.
Yeah.
I can crush those mechanics.
Exactly.
You bring them back. There's nothing that Mace Windu can bring to the table.
Nothing.
That enhances
his story is
his
complete.
story.
Yeah,
his story is complete.
It's complete, and that's the thing. Like I'm looking forward to in the Obi-Wan series, we're gonna see Windu. We're gonna see.
That's the only aspect where Mace Windu can be played again.
Yeah.
Look,
it can't. That once again, that's
Samuel.
It's such a pivotal moment. It's a pivotal moment in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like I went through, and I hate to say it, but I did go check episode 1 afterwards, and
there's no shame in watching episode 1.
Oh, actually, it's a pretty good movie.
It is good.
Once you just ignore the hour-long pod race.
The pod race is one of the highlights, though.
Is it?
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go on a slight tangent. The 3 standout points of episode 1 are the pod race versus Maul and the assault on the palace.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 parts that stand out in my mind as that is what makes up the best parts of episode 1.
And I kind of can't disagree with you on that. I think that for me, the pod race just went on for
the pod race is
too long.
and I can't agree with you. The pod race is a longer segment of it.
Yeah.
But it's also
it's important though.
It's a pivotal part of it where you have Anakin who really hasn't been believed in.
Right.
hasn't had really much riding on him outside of gambling.
Right.
So for the viewer, like,
Right.
you know, the stake is that this would free him, but
Right.
not his mother.
Right.
So, you know, and obviously the good guy's going to win.
Always.
But it's part of, like, the same reason that you watch traffic videos of cars colliding.
Yeah,
And,
you gotta watch that
and
accident
battle
happen.
bots.
Yeah.
Is you go there to see the funny looking, the funny CGI ships
Yeah.
break apart in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And you got the sand people shooting on the top. It's just like generally
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's probably the most childlike of all
It
of
is,
the
and
Star
that's
Wars
and
movies.
I
think it's
attribute part
appropriate.
of that to, you know, me watching that as a kid
Right.
and going, oh man, being a kid and doing this fucking death-defying, horrid thing that Anakin has to do because he's a slave.
Yeah.
But like the idea, I mean, also briefly touching back into Lego Star Wars, racing the pod racer race is one of the levels. And
one of the first
there's
Star
also,
Wars
there's also an arcade game that is solely the pod race.
one of the very first Star Wars video games that I ever owned was Pod Racer on 64.
It is a standout
Yeah.
thing in Star Wars.
You know, I might have to retract my theory on that one a little bit. You actually convinced me here to kind of retract my
live
theory.
and in person.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, going back to that, like,